guys? And welcome back to Skeptics Podcast. This will be the first double-digit podcast.
We're back.
We're back and been pretty consistent lately, I think so.
Yeah.
Like we've been coming in and actually filming on Mondays now, and I think me and him both like it a little bit more. I don't really know why it is like that, but it's just, I don't know, it seems like it's working out better, and it seems like the conversations even flow just a tad bit.
I think so, and I think there might have been a big gap in between some podcasts being filmed.
There
I
was.
think it was our last one, but I was on vacation, so that's my fault.
Nah, you're good. I put a short in there and made up for it.
Yeah.
That's it. So, some big news has happened
Big.
in the last like 3 days, pretty much.
Yeah.
Uh, it was on. I know it was on Saturday because I was at a horse show.
Correct.
So it's gonna be wild one of these days when somebody asks, "Where were you when Donald Trump's assassination almost happened?"
That's right.
Where were you?
I was at the horse show as well.
Oh, duh. Duh. So, uh, we're all just sitting there chilling, pretty much. It's like 98 degrees outside, just
Yeah.
sweating like crazy. And it was actually a friend of ours named Earl. Shout out to Earl. He is on the association with our horse group, and our association we're about to play it like on a projector or something like that. I think it was
Yeah.
because they were up there showing it on the TV, and we were all like, "What? No way!"
Yeah.
Anyway, we pulled it up, and TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything was just blowing up. So here we are 2 days later, and Trump's golfing. So, or at least that's allegedly what they say. But this fits perfectly into why we make a podcast. Because instantly when this happened, me and John were sitting there talking about, okay, how is this going to line up? This line up? What if this happened? What if this happened? Because there's already, I've been watching a ton of stuff that's already on it. So let me just get your opinion first off on it.
Okay.
Not really on even what happened, but what was going through your mind when this happened?
Man, I'm just sitting there thinking, this is insane. Like, there's a lot of things that you don't think, like you've heard about in school or wherever. Your parents told you about something that happened while they were a kid or a young adult, etc. And you don't ever think you'll see it. Like, you never think that, oh yeah, a former president, somebody running for president, is going to have an assassination attempt, and it be like I could see one happening, and they catch the guy.
Right.
Right. Not one where he gets shot.
Yeah, like, and we figured this out now. I mean, it was under like 5 seconds of the actual shots getting taken.
Yeah.
I mean, there was depending on how you look at it, this is coming from two guys that does not have any kind of military service, police service, law enforcement, anything, just people that train with guns. When we first saw it, we were like, dude, our dude's taking care of business.
Yeah.
This is coming from like not knowing the shooter,
Right.
where the shots are coming from.
Right.
We're literally watching the video,
Yeah.
and we're making our assumptions on what's happening. And we were actually got something wrong, I think,
Yeah.
at this point.
We did.
At first, in the video, you hear three shots. It was three shots,
Three
right?
shots.
And then they were a little bit slower, and then after that, there's a following 6 to 8 shots.
Something like
that's
that.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Me and John Boy thought our guys were just murking at this point. Like after the three shots happened, our guys were like, "Okay, we found them, lit them up."
Yeah.
And we were like, "That's what I'm talking about." Well, it turns out from what we've read so far, and like I said, we're still being very skeptic of everything that's happened
100%.
at this point, because like I haven't seen a picture of Trump's ear.
Mm-mm.
I mean, just saying.
True. Yeah.
So I don't think that part was technic. The gunshot and the gunfire was not a hoax.
Right.
I think we can rule that out at this point. There's been lives lost at this point.
Yeah.
So I think I would rule that part out. Now what we're about to get into though is because me and him actually haven't got to sit down and really talk about it
No.
since the horse show, and this is just coming up on our first look at everything that was happening. So, is there a place you want to start at?
I say let's just start at the beginning, and like let's talk about what we know, in quotes,
Yeah.
so far. So we get the news just like everybody else. Everybody gets their device or their TV on, etc. Which, by the way, I wonder when's the last time something like that happened? Something so big that everybody stopped what they were doing to investigate.
Uh, it was uh, it was the last. I think it was somebody was comparing it. Well, take this back. It wasn't the last time that everybody stopped, but
Hmm.
it was the last time that somebody has attempt to take out a president,
Okay,
and I think it was like 40 something years
I think so.
or something like that,
Yeah,
and this happened. I mean, I don't. It was wild to watch, and just like you said, though, everybody was watching this at
yeah,
this point. There was not one person at the horse show, unless they were on a horse,
right, right,
that was like, "What is going on?" So we're all trying to watch it from every kind of source whatsoever, and it
right.
was on everything
Yeah,
possible. Did you get any chances to see any headlines when it was happening?
I've seen a
Or
few that some different media outlets had put out, which I found very odd the way they covered it. And I've actually got something that I've got saved, just that I've because I knew we were going to talk about it.
yeah,
Uh, when we were there, like the big media companies who I expected to really like have some big, news breaking
like
type headline,
information or something. Yeah,
they didn't.
no,
And they all, I think, were more reserved and had like built a story
yeah,
by the next day.
for sure.
So Sunday, when I got up and I was looking at the news, I was like this is the story that should have been on yesterday. The
Yeah,
stuff they were talking about,
yeah.
I'm like, this is already old news.
Right, exactly. It was the news that it seems like nowadays that the main corporations put out
Yeah,
is like is kind of just a part of it to make you seem like you want to gloss over the rest of it.
yeah,
Like, and then there's some of them that's totally dumb.
yeah,
Like CNN's was something like he tripped at the podium,
yeah.
and you're like,
I know it's like I googled it. And I think Washington Post posted loud noise at
la-
Trump rally.
yeah. And
Loud
there
noise?
was another place that they glazed over that they took a shot at Trump and
Mm,
just really narrowed down that Trump got hit by a piece of glass from the podium. So forget that shots were taken it directly at Trump. It
right.
was more important that a shot was taken at the podium. The podium had glass on it, from what they think, and it bounced up and hit him in the ear.
Mm,
When you literally see, like, if the podium's here and he got shot, he was facing this way, and the bullet hit right here.
right.
So
Yeah, I didn't see any kind of shrapnel.
no,
There was never any like anything that flew up from an impact.
right.
So,
The other thing I thought we that both of us kind of thought was wild was the reaction of the crowd.
oh, the crowd was crazy.
Like it was it was crazy in the way that's like not really that many people panicked that was
Right,
right behind him. There
right.
was a couple people that was freaking out,
Yeah,
but I mean, I would think, especially if I heard gunshots,
yeah,
I would be booking it.
yeah.
I protect my family on the way out, and if I ain't got no family, and there's a chance that I could protect like an elder person or whatever it is like that,
Right, right.
try to do that. But these people just stood there. A lot
Dude,
of them were just like, there was even some of them that was like, broke their phone
yeah,
out,
yeah. They're like, what's happening? Let me see.
and I was hearing a bunch of things. It's like, oh, all these people that broke their phone out as like insiders. They knew it was going to happen. And me and you were talking about this at work. Nobody, if y'all do not realize how bad people want clout now,
Oh,
you're just wrong.
yeah,
Straight up.
yeah,
Like we were watching that video of the photographer that got that iconic picture when he
yeah,
had blood and he was doing this.
yeah,
Like everybody's going crazy and this photographer is like running through everybody trying to film
yeah,
all the stuff.
yeah,
It's like they will put their life on the line.
yeah. There's something that I've thought about that is after we discussed it, people who get what they call the $1 million shot. It's the shot that's on every headline, and every outlet has to pay a guy for his pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's insane that there's some guy in the midst of chaos and like bad things happening. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make some money off of this.
That's it.
What?
He's like, I'm about to get that shot. It's like you got the top tier guys who are like, I'm taking care of business. He's on the same level, but
Yeah.
just taking a picture.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't going in to get the threat. I'm taking a picture,
That,
no matter what.
you know what it reminds me of? Actually, now that you say that, like Vietnam was the first time we ever really recorded a war.
Mm.
Have you ever seen some of the footage? Like the cameraman, like they're just like in a convoy and just like stuff starts blowing up and
And
things are
yeah,
going crazy.
in the battle.
And they're like, they're just right there.
I think at one time there was I was reading something about even the cameraman. They would like issue them weapons like when they were there.
I,
There
okay,
was
I didn't hear
there
that.
was like if you have to use this, go for it. Because the cameraman's like, oh no, I'm in this junk with them.
Yeah,
Like you imagine like just being there sitting there shooting somebody and you turn around and there's like a camera right there in your face. You're like trying to push it back. Hand me a grenade.
yeah. Everybody get down. The guy's like,
It's like I got this.
I got the shot.
So yeah, that part was wild. And then the crowd after Trump started fist pumping.
Oh my gosh.
Like just forget that there was shots just fired.
Right.
Everybody stands up,
Yeah.
standing ovation, clapping, going crazy.
Hmm.
Man, dude, it was. I would have liked to get the camera view of the people that was in front of him
Yeah.
if they reacted the same way versus just like
People,
running.
yeah.
And I think it was it? Were you in there when me and Sam were talking about it?
I don't think so.
Sam was saying that everybody's mindset's different when something like that happens, and I'm sure there's some people that's like this would never happen, so they don't react like something's like really fearful.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people were like that, or just the sheer fact that they don't know what's going on.
I think it's both. Me and you talked, I think, on the last podcast about the four different uh, reaction
Mhm.
types. You have fight, flight, freeze, and fawn.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, like, everybody's going to react differently to that. It's a high stress situation, is all it is. At the
right.
end of the day, I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
The one thing that me and him have really been digging into lately, and I've been kind of putting this. I love getting in comment sections, so if y'all ever comment something, I will say something back. I just love getting comments. But I think this was a comment on TikTok, and I know I was talking to you about it. But one thing I don't think people understand enough is the shooter was a 20-year-old or 20-year-old male, and everybody was like blown away that this guy could even somewhat make a shot that was like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it may say like I'm preaching to the choir. I'm really trying to brag about ourselves, but we're not. Uh, we shoot quite a bit,
Yeah.
and that shot's not that hard.
No, it really isn't, especially with modern firearms.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Obviously, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and
100%.
prayers and love go out to the people that did lose their lives in the thing. But I see so many like liberals and some people on the right. They're like, it. How is a 20-year-old doing all these special ops stuff? And I'm like, this is the baseline
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, this is you can't compare this to like doing something crazy because you're taking
Right.
a roughly 150-yard shot
Yeah.
with I think I don't know if it's really been confirmed yet, but probably an AR.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's wild to think that that is a crazy shot. I seen a guy make with the Glock. It's a very standard handgun. I seen him do 100 yards
Right.
with a pistol, and I'm like, okay, that's a different beast right there. To be on target accurately,
Yeah.
uh, that's a whole different beast. But with a rifle, and the what I've heard is confirmed in like the 140s.
Yes.
That's what I've heard. That's really nothing too wild. I did hear something new though about the cat.
It's here.
Uh, so I know we're gonna dig into this at one point, so we might as well dive in. But the there was a lot of discussion about like why didn't they get to him faster? There's all these people hollering and this and that. Well, Connor told me, a friend of ours, that this is all
Of course. Yeah.
uh, hearsay, but he had heard that there was apparently a cop who went to climb up the ladder to get the guy, and he swung at him his gun. He swung the gun at him, and the guy climbed back down.
I did not know
That
this.
I just heard it just before I left, and I'm like, what are you talking? Like he didn't even shoot at him.
That's crazy.
He just swung at him, and he decides that, oh, okay, I'm gonna back down. Dude, I've seen people, I've seen police officers get in shootouts for
Yeah.
less than that. Like I seen a video the other day of a lady who she tried to grab a gun, and then she tried to like almost run this guy over practically, and he shot her. Uh, but it's like, I mean, like, he was like about to get shot, and he was like she literally had it pointed at him.
Yeah.
He tased her. Uh, he ended up getting shot though, and then she tries like running him over. Like that whole like that's an actual shootout between two individuals. Like it wasn't until he took shots to his body
Right.
until he drew his gun
Right.
and actually shot back. Whereas like this guy, he just gets swung at and he's like, all right, I'm out. If that's the truth.
I was about to say, if that is true, think what is going through the shooter's mind.
Yeah.
He was not willing to shoot a cop
Right.
because he was so focused, I guess, on trying to shoot Trump.
I would think so. I mean, if we're trying to get into what he's thinking, it might have been like I have to not shoot until he's got his opportunity. Otherwise, I mean, those snipers that are setting up.
Oh,
overnight,
it didn't take long.
dude. Imagine if they'd have heard gunfire.
Okay, that's perfectly that you said that because I was listening to one of the guys that we all listen to,
Yeah, yeah.
and he said something I never thought about, but I could see it being a good idea. And we were talking about in the group chat today with Cody, Lee, the other Codys, and we got like 4 friends named Cody, and we were sitting there talking about if somebody there drew a gun and tried to take care of the shooter,
Mhm.
and the possibility of now you getting hit because you look like a threat. And this one uh, guy I was listening to, he said something that was actually really smooth that I never thought about. If you were a cop or even say a citizen,
Yeah.
and you were wanting to stop the threat without really putting yourself into danger, and you did have a gun, go to some area that's not where you're out of a line of sight,
Yeah.
and just put one in the ground. That'll scare people enough to where it would bring the attention of whoever.
Yeah.
I mean, it could bring the attention of the snipers to say, "Hey, there's this guy on the roof," versus like you just pulling up and trying to shoot the guy.
Right.
I mean, I could definitely see how you would look like a threat at that point, but just a little pop shot, just a little,
Dude,
just to get the attention of everything.
I think if you hit him with a quick 3 shot,
Yeah.
then it's undeniable. Like 3 gunshots. That's you're not gonna mistake.
Right.
I think that is actually a really smart idea.
I would have never thought about that.
Man.
Just to do something to you have to pay attention to this
Right,
point.
yeah.
Because there's been reports at this point to where people are saying that they were trying to get police
Mhm.
to come get the guy.
Yeah.
And nobody did it. I mean, I showed you that one video today that was like, it was 2 minutes long
Yeah.
of a guy literally filming the dude on the roof, filming the thing going on, filming the guy shooting the shots,
Yeah.
and then the aftermath of the sniper hitting him.
Yeah.
And that's 2 whole minutes that something could have been done to try to
Yeah.
try to prevent it of some
And you know what I just thought about? And it's something that me and you discuss, and it only makes more and more sense. The use of drones in
Yes.
today's time is insane.
We're
If y'all aren't up to date on like how much drones are being used right now, it's in like it's an ungodly amount.
yeah, it like the Ukraine, whatever, if you want to call that a war, that is literally being fought with drones.
Yeah, we're talking like standard DJI,
Yeah.
just stuff you buy.
You
at
buy
Best
Walmart.
Buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walmart even. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that was and we don't have one person putting a drone up at this whole thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking after you'd mentioned that. It's like, do you know how fast you can deploy one of those and then know right then, oh, there's a guy climbing on a roof with a gun.
Exactly. Just and it's like it's not like the special forces or the U.S. government's going to take word from me and you most likely.
Right.
But they could have hired anybody off the street to do this job.
Yeah.
If you're some guy that likes to fly drones and you say, "Hey man, I'll give you $500," and this is not illegal by the way.
Right.
Just say, "Hey, I'll pay you $500 just to fly the drone over, and if you see anything suspicious, let me know."
Right.
Like offset that to somebody else so you don't have to worry about it to that point, because any citizen, like a regular citizen, would probably do that.
Right.
No problem, because for one, if they have a drone, they probably like flying the drone.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna make a little bit of money, and then now you got a chance that to where you could really do something.
Think about from a bird's eye view, okay, how fast you could collect data
Yeah.
on an area. So, like, let's say that the rally is I don't know, a 400 foot by 400 foot square.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to increase your range to 800.
Yep.
Just have a guy be like, hey, yeah, fly this around.
That's it.
Tell me if you see anything out of the normal.
Yeah. And now it's like you can get still, I'm pretty sure at Best Buy, you can get like drones that's got thermal on it and everything
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So it's like if you're flying over a building and you see a dot on top of a building,
Yeah.
that ought to be like, hey, somebody's up on top of here.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like, it's not even that difficult.
No.
Like, it'd be different if they, like, requested I don't know what the civilian, I doubt there is one version, but like, the military has a Predator drone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
By airplanes.
Yeah.
Like, that's so advanced, and like, you don't even need that.
No,
You
not
can
at all.
literally, for, I would probably say sub $1,000.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Get a drone.
Yeah, it just fly the thing
and
around.
fly it around.
And you're now having another level of security for one of the most important men in the world right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just another thing that we wanted to talk about was we've been seeing a lot of stuff lately about the guy that has apparently took the shot.
Oh yeah.
The shot that took down the threat, not the guy or the kid or whatever you want to call him. This guy supposedly is one of the snipers that's kind of being like really put on the media right now.
Yeah.
He's the one that's like sitting up while the other one's laying down. They're
Yeah.
both in like blackout gear.
Yeah.
And got big rifles, big scopes, high dollar stuff, and everything. And as of now, you can find on certain sites that he was fired for taking the shot, even though he was
Wasn't
told
cleared.
not to
Yeah.
take the shot. I can, just coming from a civilian standpoint, in any kind of altercation that we know about that
Yeah.
has happened,
Yep.
especially if it's involved police
Mhm.
force, is 9 out of 10 times we are not allowed to take a shot unless somebody else has took a shot at us already.
Yeah, it's always like a react to contact.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of skeptical of that if it's coming to protecting the president,
Yeah.
especially if you see another guy with a rifle.
So that was something that I was
Because it said,
talking about.
because I think in that one thing, remember that because you fact checked it just kind of a little bit to see if it was at least credible.
Yeah.
That he was saying that he had the guy in his scope for like 3 minutes.
Okay, so first off, I looked into this a little bit, and technically it's not a very credible source, and here's why.
Right.
It's on some forum or whatever that anybody can make an account for,
Right.
and that's a picture that anybody could get off the internet
Yep.
currently, and anybody can fabricate a story that's pretty close to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm waiting for. I figure if this really happened and he came out on Reddit or whatever, let's just say,
Right.
that somebody would want to be interviewing this guy right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, this guy would already be getting an interview lined up, most likely.
Right.
He lost his job.
And I don't think the first place I would go would be like Reddit. Or
No.
so, I mean, why would you not want to? Now, I guess there's always the chance of if you think the big black deep state is dirty and is that they have him and he can't speak
Right.
anymore.
Right.
But I do lean a little bit with you on that. I think a lot of people create a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, think about this. If you look, that roof is an angled roof
mhm,
that the shooter's on,
mhm.
and our guys, the USSS, U.S. Secret Service, uh, is looking over there, but they can't confirm until like he's crested,
Yeah,
right?
right, exactly. I was thinking the same
And
thing.
so there's no way from
There's
like
no way you
the
can
video that
you
I
can
seen.
see him crawling up.
Right, yeah, me and you like you sent us a video, and I seen him crawling up, so there's
Yes,
no way you could see him from this vantage point until he was at the very top.
right.
And at that point, though, I do believe that you would be able to tell. Based
Yeah,
and this is just based off of my own experiences and devices. You know, I have a Vortex Strike Eagle, like 525, 56, whatever,
yeah.
and it's cheap in the grand scheme of like what there is out there for a precision rifle,
Mhm.
like our guys have. And
But if you're zoomed up on somebody at 150 at 25 magnification,
yeah, at 25 magnification at 300 yards,
yeah,
think about how much you can see with
it's
my
up there.
rifle. Yeah,
So it the shot from our guys is very doable.
yeah, 100%.
Like especially if we've been trying to figure out what kind of guns they're using, and a lot of people that we listen to think they're like bigger bolt gun
Yeah,
rifles,
yeah,
uh,
100%.
calibers, and if that is the case, there's not much need for mills or dropping or
No,
anything at 150.
no, not at 150. Yeah, from what I've seen, supposedly it's a Remington 700 action, which is like
Yeah,
one of the most famous. And it's in an Accuracy International chassis with some other parts or whatever. But
no stuff.
yeah, I know my stuff. I'm pretty big into this. But if they're shooting 300 Win Mag or
Yeah,
308
dog.
to a Magnum, dude, that's like uh, a friend of my brother's, or I think it's my brother. It might be my uncle. Either way, they know a guy who shoots white-tailed deer with this cartridge. And dude, I've heard from 50 yards all the way to 200,
Yeah,
and it's like for hunting, it's pretty much ridiculous. Unless
yeah.
you're shooting in the mountains, and big credit to the guys who do, who are shooting like 700 and 800 yards. Okay, maybe.
Then you might have to change some meals or something. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. But 50 to 200, I mean, it's like
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
laser.
Oh shoot, it's crazy. So this may be redundant for a lot of people listening, but I think it also shows that a lot of people like us
Hmm.
are not as dumb as most people think. And
Yeah,
when I mean most people, I'm saying like probably like government and everything, because I
yeah,
do believe a lot of them think we are sheep. But me and him can look at this and realize that there should have been security in areas that were very bluntly possibilities.
yeah,
Like, I'm not even saying that somebody had to be on the roof that the shooter shot from,
right.
but that ought to have been an area that a scope was on the whole time. If
Yeah,
it was not, like I said, I don't know if we'll ever get this information.
right.
Um, I do know, because we looked it up on Google Maps, there's a water tower right behind this building. Why was nobody on this water tower?
Yeah,
And the thing that I always wonder now is how does the communication link up between everybody? Because you got the Secret Service was there, you got their local
yeah.
departments there. Is there somebody that was not communicating something? And if so, was it because they did not want to
Mm,
communicate the thing?
yeah,
I want, me personally, I want records of every conversation that happened between the team, of everybody. Like I said, the basic police department,
right.
everybody, from the point 30 minutes before the shots went off to until Trump was gone.
Right.
I want to know all that, because
Hmm.
it gets harder and harder. What is your thoughts on the whole thing?
Man, so I was talking to a guy who knows a little bit about like working don't remember the proper word I'm trying to find right now, but either way, working department to department, if you want to call it that, or like, local team versus national team, however you want to say it. And there can be some trouble with communication just based off of like if these guys operate at a higher level and they're used to X, Y, and Z, and now they're dealing with some local guys who like have a very base
Basic, yeah.
knowledge of things.
It's
I
like
mean, that could cause trouble right there.
it's like in the movies. It's like if something happens, like in like a little local city, and it ends up being serious.
Yeah.
It's like the police is like watching over, and the FBI shows up and says, "All right, y'all can go
Yeah.
because we're gonna take care of this."
Yeah.
I hope it's not like that, but I could very much see it being like that. The Secret Service guys are like, "Guys, we got this. You can go, kind of stop traffic lights or whatever you want. We
Right.
got this." And I would have been interested to know, for one, following up on what Connor said, if that story was really true, what department was this guy? Was he just a basic police officer,
Right.
or was he part of the team? Or
Well, and here's what I told Connor. It's like that's what do they call that? It's attempted battery.
yeah,
I mean, that dude he really could have escalated the situation. Imagine if the cop would have just shot some rounds off. Let's say if he don't even hit the guy.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, man,
It-
that
it-
would have really drawn some attention.
It would have drawn all the attention.
And they'd have got Trump out of there. I mean, when they heard that gunfire, they
Yeah.
started moving. And so that's just so
Dude,
wild.
what's your opinion on the whole deal? Like, are you thinking this is just another basic guy that's coming up that's trying to take out Trump and be a hero? Do you think, or do you think this is a guy that was maybe brainwashed a little bit to where he thought that, hey, this Trump guy is really not the guy that we need? Or
So I've heard about three different, I think, pretty plausible ideas behind this whole thing. The first one, because I've heard a little bit about this guy's background,
yep,
and I don't know his name, and if I did, I wouldn't even say it. I'm not going to give the
I can't
shooter
remember what his
credit.
name is.
And so the first one is that he was a Republican on the ballot or something, but then he was part of some kind of Democratic
He,
team.
if my information is correct, he registered because he was 20. When he registered at 18, he registered as a Republican.
Right.
But his most recent thing when it comes to the sides is he donated to Biden's campaign, is from what I understand.
So I mean, let's say let's go with the Republican first. Okay, if he's a Republican, he's infiltrating these Democrats or yada yada whatever, and one I've heard is that he wanted to, even if it cost him everything, he knew if he went out and did something, and this goes along the lines that he wasn't trying to shoot the president, but he wanted to shoot around that area to make it look real, to try and boost his popularity.
I've not heard this one.
I've heard this.
So you're saying that he went up there to do that, so more so like the Republicans made him do that to boost Trump's morale,
maybe not the, and I don't know if it was like the Republicans, but
or somebody. But
yeah,
but you're saying that he did it to benefit Trump.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that's one that I've heard.
Gotcha.
The other one is obviously to benefit
The
the
Democrats.
Democrats.
Yep.
And it would to be assassinate him.
Yeah.
For their gain. And then the third one would just be that
He's
the
just,
guy's deranged.
yeah.
He has decided he's going to take it upon himself to stop Trump for whatever threat he believes he is.
Well, if you don't mind saying, what's your opinion on it right now? With the information that you know and that we're skeptic of right now, what would you say it is?
Right now, I think.
Because I think we're leaving out a very important part. I just now thought about this. We consider ourselves gun guys.
Right.
This guy was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt.
Yeah.
And this is nothing against Demolition Ranch.
No.
Like, dude, you better not be sorry for nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not
you're awesome.
Just because somebody buys your clothes.
Yeah. It's like Daniel Defense. If anybody shoots somebody with Daniel Defense, don't be wusses. Just, you make good rifles. Live with that. You're 2A company. Don't worry about it.
Think about every. Never mind. Think about all the Geisley rifles we send overseas and stuff.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, but this guy obviously was a guy that he probably liked firearms.
Yeah.
I would guess.
I would think
I
so.
mean, I don't know many. I don't know any. I guess I'd say this, but I've never heard of many like or any reports on like deranged people
Hmm.
that watch the guys like we do.
Right.
Like we don't watch. I don't watch Demolition Ranch much,
Right.
but I've watched a ton of his stuff growing up, and I've never once like watched that and said, you know what, that could really be used for something else.
Right.
And do you find it kind of weird that he decided to wear that to the thing?
Not really.
See, I find it kind of weird.
Because, and this is just based off of my thought process, I think it may have been some media influence. I think he may have been, I don't know what he was watching, but I mean, imagine if he's on the internet and the things that he's seeing or saying, this and that, and it's all going to be blah, 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 and we need to do something about it, you know, and he gets it so built up in his mind. I mean, if that's the clothes you own,
I guess it's just
then it's just another day for him. I know that sounds crazy, and I don't
right,
think
right,
some
right.
people are going to be able to comprehend that. For that guy,
It's just another day.
that's another day. Except for now, he's got a job to do.
Hmm. That's just a wild shirt to wear, something like that.
I know. I did think
But
that was kind of odd.
I did think I thought of it in two different ways. I thought maybe he wore that to try to blend in with the crowd
I,
because I'm sure a bunch of Republicans watch gun stuff.
yeah, and I kind of thought that it
Or
could be a possibility.
or did he wear it to try to play the card so much that it was that he's a Republican that wants Trump gone?
Right.
Like imagine somebody came to him
Mm,
and was like, "Hey, uh, I need you to take out Trump," and not a Republican,
right. Right.
and they're like, they tell him to wear this and this and this because it makes him play the card that
Yeah.
he is a Republican.
That's actually really interesting. I
Oh,
wish I wish I had more capability. If
yeah,
I could, I'd like to see the purchase history.
yeah,
When was that shipped to that region? Because, dude, if you could find that out,
yeah.
like, imagine if he only bought it within the last month.
That'd be crazy,
It'd be like,
dude. I was listening to somebody today, and I can't who the heck was it? It wasn't somebody I listen to often, but they made a good point. They said at this point we know who the guy was,
yeah,
or if the media is telling us who the guy was is correct. Dude, I want to know everything about this guy. I want to know what he eats on the regular, what he likes to do for fun, this and that, because if there is a pattern that we can see, because you said it, I said it, Connor said it, this is nothing wrong to anybody out there, but the dude looks like the ideal shooter.
there is a, like, I don't know how to
Like he's got
describe
like
it.
that word that's out now, like the aura.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
has that, and it's nothing against him or anything, but I don't know. To me, there's so many things that's lining up that's weird that it almost. I'm rather leading with the point of somebody, but I don't even think it's. I don't even think it's like somebody came up to this guy and paid him to do this.
Right.
I think now the media and everything can be so targeted
Hmm.
that somehow he could even get targeted. Like as crazy as it sounds, if he had like a teacher or somebody that was like, dude, Donald Trump is just he's about to do terrible stuff,
Dude, or
and,
like,
and just to get him on the level of like, cause you like you say you judge him, you go to school with him, and you're like. This kid's nice, but I could see how he'd easily go over the edge.
right, right.
That's the people that the deep state or whatever you want to call it
Hmm.
is could target to get to do something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it wouldn't be nothing to create some fake accounts
Yeah,
that somebody that you could, and you could even start it out like this. Like, I could see them posting stuff that somebody liked.
yeah,
Like, imagine if they, like, you start following an account and they post cool gun stuff. And you're like, oh, cool, I like this, whatever. And then over a period of 6 months,
Yeah.
it starts to get more radicalized, and to the point where you're like, you know what? Somebody needs to do something about this.
Yeah.
And then they start posting stuff, and it's like, hey, one of our people needs to step up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
follower base. And
Exactly.
you could have bot followers.
Yep. That's true.
So,
Because the reason I don't think it was straight up like whoever it was hired somebody
mhm,
is they obviously didn't hire a professional because he missed his mission did not work.
right.
So
Well, and also I would like to add, like, I think if it was a true hit put on by somebody with legit money, I think they would have sent a person who was crazy and like didn't care to die, who had skills, man. Like if you want something to happen, they're gonna send a guy
that'll make it
who's
happen.
gonna make it happen.
Like 100%.
Like think about a guy who shows up with a gun like the Secret Service have,
Right.
right? Like a high-powered rifle with a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
high-powered scope.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a totally different narrative all of a sudden.
I agree with you 100% because that this kid could easily have just switched up a couple things
Mhm.
and it would have upped his chances by a lot.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So it makes it seem like to me that there was just some manipulation that was going on in there. And the only reason I'm saying that is because before, how many weird things line up? Like
I mean, but
that
is it possible that he could have been like gaslighted into this by
100%.
an actual person he knows
100%.
who just doesn't like him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even have to be the deep state.
Yeah.
It could be your uncle, and he's been hyping you up for 2 years about
Yeah.
how much he hates him, and he says hates him being our hometown. This is your chance.
This is your chance. You just hit the nail on the head about something. Where's the reports of this dude's parents? I want to know what do these dudes do for a living?
Right.
Like is this some guy that is that's a school teacher that's worked there until he's 50, or is this some guy that had some prior service in like Washington D.C. or something like that?
Right.
This is stuff that we should all want to know.
Yeah.
Because it's going to narrow it down more and more and more. Is this legitimate or is this not legitimate?
Well, you know what's so interesting is we keep talking about wanting to narrow it down.
Like, does this guy have any brothers or sisters?
Nobody's
I-
talked about that.
I don't know. Does this guy have any kind of profiles out there? Like, we're living in 2024. Does he have an Instagram? Does he have a Facebook? Does he have this?
You know, I just thought about that while we were sitting here. Out of all of the people who I know, and out of all the people who have looked into this situation, nobody's looked him up online. That is weird to think about. Like, think about how fast you hear about somebody, you look them up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better way to say it than like cyber stalking somebody
Yeah.
these days is one, super easy, and two, there's more people than you think that are doing it.
Yeah. Hey, I've checked Instagram. Can't find nothing on the dude.
Mm.
I've checked TikTok.
Mm.
Can't find nothing on the dude. I don't ever get on Facebook, so I haven't checked Facebook.
I think if you were going to have any luck finding this guy, you would have had to have done it when we found out at the horse show. I
Right.
bet his accounts are pulled
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Why would they do that though?
because they want to withhold information of some kind.
That's
But I mean,
that's the only reason that I can narrow it down. Because if I wanted to try, if that kid was my family member,
Right.
and I wanted to try to prove to everybody that he was not insane, that he really thought that this was something. Not now, Judge. Let me make this clear. Also, killing people, that's not the thing.
no,
Don't
it's
do
always
that.
wrong.
That's not American. We don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
But you could I would want to try to fight for that, to make them seem that, hey, my cousin or whatever is not just insane.
Right.
Like there was and as a family member, I'd want to try to figure this thing out. I cannot imagine being a parent and losing a child, but if I was that dude's dad,
Yeah.
I would be like, why the heck did my kid do this?
Right.
And I would be trying to figure this out.
Right.
Unless you knew that something like this was going to happen.
Right. And I bet all of that right now, I bet those people are being grilled. I mean, whether they're going to talk about it or not, I'd be willing to bet money that the FBI is at those family members' doors and they are grilling these people and they're tearing houses apart.
Do you think that that's do you think that that is a thing that should happen just in like civil interaction? Like, say we see something like this happen.
Mhm.
Do you think it should be required that the information of the mom and the dad should go to the public?
I don't think it should be required. No, actually, really not. Because I mean, you wouldn't want to be put on blast. Like, imagine if you really didn't know anything about it. You genuinely didn't, and somebody else got to the individual, or something else got to the individual. You would hate for that to follow you. Like, you would probably have to leave town.
Well, I think it's going to follow you either way.
I don't think so. I think if you moved to like a different state, people wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're that guy's dad that tried to assassinate the president."
I don't know. See,
Like if they press release that,
like
then they would.
today age and time. I see where you're coming from because you're coming from the stance of compassion, and I understand that.
Right, of course.
I wouldn't want all my stuff blasted out there, but today I don't know. Today's age and time, it's just like we know that so many different things is lies at this point, and it's we me. I would love to be able to see these, just read something or see this stuff and say these people are good people. Their son just had something that was wrong with him. I'd love to be able to see that. And I know that would be hard, but I think that goes back to the thing that we talk about all the time. Sometimes you got to stand up for something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Like if that cop really got swatted and was like, "I ain't doing this anymore,"
Yeah.
but you don't need to be a police officer.
Yeah.
And
If getting swung on makes you want to
it makes you
back
stop.
down,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's like we preach all the time to our friends and people that we know, and I'll continue to preach it to y'all. If you're somebody that carries a firearm, you need to carry the firearm with the intention that you are going to protect somebody if you need to protect it.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with it, probably don't carry it.
Yeah.
It's
the easiest thing to do.
it's the easiest thing you do. The and this makes me sound like a bigot, I think, but where was the people where was our people? And I'm saying our as in like all of us collectively. And you're probably like, no, Dylan, you can't say that because you're not there. And you say you'll do this and you'll say you'll do that.
Right.
I know a ton of people that would have done stuff. I mean, it, a ton. Now, granted, I know a lot of people that wouldn't have done stuff too,
Right.
and I love them to death as much as the other people. But there's got to be somebody somewhere that has got to be willing to do something. And like I said, I'm not even saying pull up and try to be the hero and double tap the guy. Go over to the corner, shoot 2 rounds in the ground if you have to bring attention to the thing.
Right.
Or get 3 guys, climb up there, and just try to take it away from them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the option is to always shoot someone.
No, no, no. Yeah.
Like, definitely try to slow the altercation down to where it never gets to that point. But I think we've got to a point now, and I am to blame for one of these things is a lot of people just don't trust gut feelings anymore. You're somebody that's very good at it. And I get gut feelings, but half the time I'm like, okay, is this logically sound? Like, is this and that or whatever, especially when it comes to people. And 9 out of 10 times it bites me in the butt. So now I'm trying to get better at gut feelings. I think people push them away.
I trust it to the point that I think it keeps me safe.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, I think, but
And it's like that one guy that's going around right now with the visor on your head.
oh yeah.
He's seeing this going wrong, and I'm not hating on you at all, buddy,
No, no, no.
whatsoever. But and he had a gut feeling that hey, this is not right.
Right.
So you just we gotta get back to a point to where you got to do something bigger than yourself. I was reading a therapy podcast actually,
Yeah.
and it was talking about why so many guys in high school, if they played like college basketball or whatever sports or whatever,
Mhm.
uh, why they always go back with their buddies after that, and they'll talk about it when they're like 50. Like, remember them days when we were 18 and we tackled that one guy at whatever. I don't know anything about football really, but the reason why people talk about that stuff is because that was the last time they were part of something bigger than themselves.
Mhm.
That's why they always go back to it.
You know what's interesting about that, and you saying that, is I've always wondered why that is. Like, I had buddies who they didn't even play sports. They're like, "You remember that one time we went down to the mud hole. I've never been. Do you remember that one time guy? And it really gets on my nerves.
You've never been?
Dude, I very rarely am I sitting around and I talk to somebody about, hey, that one time. You're the only person that I do it with, and I almost always only do it when the people who were there are present.
Oh yeah, no, I do agree with that.
Because I've been in so many situations where people are like, hey, do you remember that time 15 years ago when we did that thing? And I'm there and I wasn't a part of it. And I'm like, this isn't that cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, they're hyping this up way too
Right.
much.
But that, I don't know. We just gotta try to.
I know, here.
Wait, I don't know the words for it. We just gotta. Everybody,
I've
whether
got an example.
hit me.
We got to step up more. So, like, whenever, I don't remember if we talked about it on the pod or if it was just in person, behind the scenes stuff with David.
Yeah.
And he had talked about, he was at the gas station and there was some guy being really aggressive with his wife.
Oh yeah, I remember
And,
this.
and he just looked at him
Yeah.
and was like, shook his head.
He was like, "No."
We're not doing this today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not going to get physical.
Right.
That's a guy who stepped up.
Right.
And I almost hit myself in the face with this. That's why I smiled.
That's all. That's all good.
But like on my way over here, I almost pulled over because I seen what looked like a young person walking over the overpass. And then I seen a larger person catch up to him.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I'm still hung up on it. Should I have checked on him? Like, I didn't have a feeling that there was anything bad with those two individuals. And one of them definitely looked old enough to be watching after the smaller one.
Yeah.
But
Well, go back to the gut feeling.
like, what if they did need help?
Well, you just gotta.
And what if I didn't have a feeling that time?
I I think from somebody that doesn't do it a bunch,
Yeah.
and trying to do it more, I think we need to bring back trusting your gut feeling.
Yeah.
I really do, because there's like you asked me that one time. Remember when I took that one lady to the bus station?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
how in the world I did this? Complete stranger. I just had a gut feeling that she wasn't bad. And or let's follow up with this as well. I've trained to protect myself, so that do that too. But number one, trust the gut feeling.
Right.
Get you some buddies that trust the gut feeling, because if something ever happens to anybody and you have a bad gut feeling about it, you probably need to go do something about it.
Um.
Instances like yours,
Yeah.
we're getting good at this because I'm on fire. Is bringing it back to Jesus.
Yeah.
You can't win them all the time.
That's true.
So the ones you can't get right now, just dust your feet off, walk on, because there'll always be another one.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a bunch of military guys that can attend to this. If you sit there and you think about the things that you did wrong, is going to kill you in the end.
Oh yeah.
So you just can't do it. But the new slogan is bring back gut feeling. Like like try to go out there and just be alert. If you're at something like this,
Yeah.
know now that anything could happen. Women, please, women of the world, we love women around here. Learn how to protect yourself and get with people that can, because we nobody wants anybody to get injured.
Yeah.
Don't or hurt. Don't put yourself in the position. And if you know you're in a position like that, always have a plan. I'm somebody, you know me, that normally doesn't have plans about things.
Yeah, I know.
But at least I have something. Like in the Trump scenario, if you're in the crowd that's in the front and you hear gunshots, get your family and leave.
Yeah.
If you're somebody with a firearm that's close and you think you can do something about it with the training that you have, possibly try to do something about it. Will you get shot in the back, maybe by a sniper or something? You might. But, and I know that's hard. But you want to talk about something else that's hard? Somebody dying on the cross for all our sins.
Amen to that.
Amen to
That's
that.
hard right there.
That's hard. So, me and you included.
Oh yeah.
I'm preaching to the choir.
Huh?
But you got to be ready to take the step that you might just not believe in that moment.
Yeah.
There's going to come many moments in your life with anything, and I'm not even saying defense stuff, with business stuff, with relationships, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have to be like, what is my gut feeling about this? Because I have this feeling for some reason.
Also, I think the more you practice it, the better you get.
A
I
hundred percent.
remember being a little kid, and me and my brother was in the store, my younger brother, and I seen a guy. There wasn't nothing in particular. Like he didn't have the cleanest appearance, but he wasn't dirty either. You know, he didn't look like a crackhead. If you're around this area, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But I knew something didn't feel right, so I made sure to create even more space. You know what? I seen him get arrested in the store.
There you go.
He wasn't trying to steal, like he had like a warrant or something out. He got arrested because he's already been doing bad, and so it's amazing. Just like man, something's off.
Yeah.
And there's a book about it, and ladies, you should listen to it. It's a long one, and I've heard that it's got a hard beginning, and I'm even thinking about listening to it. It's called The Gift of Fear, and it talks about like somebody who went through a an attack, a sexual attack,
Yep.
and you know there was these people, and they went and did a study, and there's all these proof of like these people who avoided bad situations. Like there was a guy who got on an elevator, they got off.
Yeah.
Well, then that guy ended up mugging somebody.
There you go.
There's so many instances like that.
There
So
you go.
you do need to kind of trust that.
Yeah.
And what'd you call it? Trust the gut.
What?
The new slogan.
The new slogan. Bring back the gut feeling, or
Bring
something.
back the gut
Bring
feeling.
back
Yeah.
the gut feeling. But yeah, man, you just
And yeah, we're not saying that we would have done anything.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, we think that
I would like to think that I've
Yeah.
done something, and if
But-
I didn't, I would want him or another good buddy of mine to say, "Hey, what the heck are you doing?" Or at least if I was carrying a firearm,
Yeah.
come get the firearm and go do something about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, or just I'll go up there and just try to stop the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I I hate that the life is lost. I mean, I even hate losing anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, that's one less person that if they did or they didn't had a chance to go to heaven. So,
Yeah.
uh, is there anything else that you want to? Is there anything else that we're missing about the Trump thing?
No, I don't think so. I think the only other thing that we haven't talked about that was talked about, or me and you discussed, was just like the speed in which they took care of Trump.
Yeah,
It was kind of it was
it was a little slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
the I could go here all day long
Oh, yeah.
about people doing things to where we've seen that's been faster. Like if you think this was fast, I was telling him go watch when Ronald Reagan got shot at, how fast they got him in a truck, and it was nuts. And mind you, nobody's wearing body armor at this time.
Yeah.
They're all just wearing suits.
Yeah.
And I'm talking just taking care of business. But I definitely think there was a lack of something in the security,
Yeah.
whether that was somebody that was wanting something to happen or not.
Hey, but let's give them a shout out too. I mean, they jumped on this
They
guy,
jumped
and
on
they
this
put
dude.
their life on the line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, even the 5'2" girl that was nowhere near as tall as Trump was somewhat near that whole thing. So
so thank you.
yeah, the people that did, and thanks to the crowd that tried to help people. I know there was another guy that he
Yeah.
tried to do something. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
It didn't. Nothing really ended up helping, but at least he tried. And like I said, prayers to everybody that
Yep.
that innocent
affected.
people that got is affected in general. My prayers go out to the people that lost their lives, Trump, the family of the shooter, if
Yeah.
they're not corrupt people.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope everybody kind of sees now that anything could happen. We've been saying this forever.
Yeah.
Uh, if you're going into a mall by yourself and you're wearing nice clothes in an area that's probably not right, use your brain, trust the gut feeling,
Yeah.
get some training, and just try to live a good life. And just don't. I know it sucks because it seems like nowadays you got to be way more careful than it is,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. And the only people that can change that is people like us making the bad people fear.
Yep.
And the people that's trying to take care of us. So, and the only way we can change that is your vote, if that's legitimate nowadays. So, anyways, that was a great podcast. I think I can sit here talk about this stuff all day
Yeah.
long. Our mic recorder is actually about to die, so that ended up turning out perfect. It might be wanting to cut me off before I say some really intense stuff. But thank y'all for watching. This will be Skeptics Podcast number 10. Like I said, prayers go out to everybody
Yep.
that was affected in this thing, and let's try to do better, and everybody try to do better, and let's try to prevent it from happening again on both sides. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. Thank y'all.
All right, we're out. Thank you.